Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Farzy Show here at the Steven Singer Studios. My name is Marc Farzetta. We got some Flyers conversation today regarding the Flyers getting back on the ice. We got 76ers winning a huge game last night in Sacramento. How about them Sixers taking care of business against the Kings? And we got Nick Sirianni making movie references. So basically speaking my language. Let's start it off with the thing that you guys might have missed out on last night, which was that 10 o'clock tip-off in Sacramento with the Sixers taking on the Kings. They get the victory 102-94 in a game where they were able to outscore the Sacramento Kings 25-15 in the fourth quarter. Jeez, looking at the wrong number. 25-12 in the fourth quarter. That's what they were able to outscore the Kings by in that final period. No Seth Curry last night. No Danny Green last night, no Tobias Harris last night, and obviously still no Joel Embiid. And the Sixers were able to take care of business against a team that is pretty good at shooting from the outside. I think we all know that. When you think about the Kings, you think about what they can do now when they shoot from the outside. Buddy Hield most notably. So when you look at a team like that, how are they going to keep up with a bunch of bombers like that? Well, I'll tell you how. Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, and Shake Milton with Andre Drummond all over the glass. Isaiah Joe even had 11 points last night. And not to get too deep into the box score, Drummond had 23. Maxey had a game-high 24. Milton had 16. Isaiah Joe, like I said, with 11. Matisse Thybulle with 15 points in the game last night. And it was spread throughout. It was Maxey getting things started for this team. He got 2 fouls early, didn't play most of the first quarter. And then he had Shake Milton coming off the bench, hit some shots for you. Furkan Korkmaz had a bit of an off night for you, but still got you some threes. It was a wild game to see who was going to step up at any given moment. And really what we're continuing to see here is the growth of two young players. Thybulle, since he came back from COVID protocol. And then the other, Tyrese Maxey, continuing to grow throughout this season. And I can't get over the Tyrese Maxey that we saw in Game 6 of the semifinals last night and how much of that player we have seen throughout this season so far. He has been given a tremendous opportunity with all this stuff going on with Ben Simmons, and we'll boil it down to just Ben not being there and them needing a point guard to step up and obviously score, but also play some pretty solid defense, which Tyrese Maxey has also done throughout this year. But he steps up, leads the team in points again, game high, as I mentioned, in points with 24. And he caps off an evening at the foul line that really had started to go a little bit cold for him at the end of the third quarter and into the fourth, with hitting some clutch shots to make sure that the Sixers were able to ice this game. But the other guy that stepped up in this game was Shake Milton. I mentioned that he had some points sprinkled throughout this game. But late in this game, in the fourth quarter, coming out of a timeout, he had a sweet turnaround jumper. He had a very nerve-wracking bounce pass to Andre Drummond, who was able to slam it home for 2. And then he had another jump shot later in the game that really extended the Sixers' lead to the point where the Kings had to start jacking threes again, and they weren't having that necessarily the best night doing that. So the Sixers close out a great win without their big names playing, without their big money, big contract guys playing, and they were able to do it by relying on their youth. And really, the guy that they could rely on the glass, again, was Andre Drummond. But offensively speaking, it was a combination of players stepping up for him, most notably Tyrese Maxey. I loved what I saw. It was a little nerve-wracking because, yes, as you guys know, and I've kept you updated, I have been betting Tyrese Maxey's over on more than one occasion. And last night with Matisse Thybulle, with Tobias Harris missing last night's game, I saw that he was going to be held out, and I was like, "Oh, quick! Let me get over to bets, make some bets here." And sure enough, it was a little too late. Tyrese Maxey had been given around 17.5 points, 16.5 points for an over/under. That's what they set the line at. Last night it was 21.5. He didn't get over the 21.5 mark until I think about 40 seconds left in the game. And I made a rather healthy bet on that one. So thanks, Maxey, for hitting that. Better late than never, as they always say. But a very impressive win. We're going to run through one post-game cut from Matisse Thybulle about himself and also his teammate, Tyrese Maxey. We got some things to get into here, like I mentioned earlier, with Nick Sirianni and him making movie references. So we'll get into that in a second. But right now, this is Matisse Thybulle after the game, speaking to Sixers.com reporter Lauren Rosen. And if you haven't seen this, it's pretty interesting. They revealed to Matisse Thybulle, so many T's on this team. There's another one. They revealed to Tease that he had 15 points, and they also asked him about Tyrese Maxey. Take a listen.
We all know what you can do defensively, but tonight you score 15 points. It's a new season high for you. You did have 15. A new season high. What was working for you on that end?
Honestly, just playing hard. I mean, I'm still trying to get my feet from not playing for 2 weeks, so my whole thing, talking to the coach and stuff, is just go out there and play hard, let the game come to me, and it's been coming.
Last but not least, what has it been like to be Tyrese Maxey's teammate this season?
I mean, to see the growth of an individual, let alone such a young player, in such a short amount of time, the massive strides that he's made, I think it makes everyone really excited to see what his future has in store, because his ability to adapt and grow and play under high-pressure situations is, I mean, it's unheard of for a kid that young.
I love when he's shocked. I had 15 points. I had 15 points? Really? No way. That's amazing. Yeah, you did. And I think he also had 3 steals in the ball game last night as well. You can continue to watch him grow. Look, one thing I will say about Matisse Thybulle is that we're all waiting for the 3 part of his game to come with the D. And I know that we talk a lot of stuff. We talk a lot about whether or not he can develop into that 3 and D guy, whether or not he can be that guy. But here's what I did see last night that I really liked from his offensive game. And yes, 15 points is nice. Looks good in the stat sheet. But how he got those 15 points was even better. Attacking the rim. And that's what you consistently saw from him last night. Andre Drummond and him had a little, it wasn't a dribble handoff because Drummond wasn't dribbling, but he basically had a little shovel pass to Matisse Thybulle as he was driving the lane in the first quarter of last night's game. I believe at that point, Maxey was already out with foul trouble, so he needed somebody to step up and score some points, and Thybulle was able to do just that. Loved what I saw from the Sixers last night. Again, 25-12 in the fourth quarter to close that one out. That's great defense and some pretty decent offense from a team that was missing their big guns. They're back at it tomorrow night, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock start time against Golden State as they round out this 6-game road trip. Be good to get the Sixers back in town and have them going on down there at the Wells Fargo Center. So that's great. Flyers have lost 2 in a row. That's unfortunate. They lost the game that I went to Wednesday night. By the way, I do have a Farzy in the field for you. We'll roll out to you guys tomorrow. I did go down there. I talked to fans about expectations for the season. And since I've done that, they've lost 2 games. They did pick up a point against the Lightning at the game I was at. It was great to be down there again. I mentioned that to you guys last week. Hearing the goal horn go off again was like a breath of fresh air being down there. And speaking of fresh air, you know, at the Wells Fargo Center, they installed that new system, that the air filtration system. It's pretty wild. Sitting up there at the press box, you're going up there and you're looking at it, and it looks like a bunch of fog coming in the press. Like, it's really wild to see how it comes out there. Anyway, so it's up and running, so to speak. But it was a great experience. I'll have a Farzy in the field for you guys a little bit tomorrow, matter of fact. Today, Nick Sirianni. There's a couple of things that he went over yesterday. One, let's talk about the most important thing. Jordan Howard, most likely going to miss this weekend's game against the New York Giants. Giants took it on the chin last night, 30-10 to the Buccaneers. So they covered, if you bet that game. I did. So that was cool. But it looks like against the Giants this weekend, they're not going to have Jordan Howard. Now, you might say, all right, well, the perfect time, Miles Sanders is back. You got Kenny Gainwell activated. They're good to go. So that's good. And that is good. However, Jordan Howard has been their most consistent runner this season. Even with Miles Sanders, when he was playing before he got hurt, the most consistent runner has been Jordan Howard. And that's really to say over the last 4 or 5 weeks since you've been using Jordan Howard with Miles Sanders being out. Jordan Howard was obviously on the practice squad before that, then activated and then actually put on the 53 and having himself a lot of success behind this offensive line. Knee injury. I said yesterday it was a back injury. I misspoke there. But knee injury to Jordan Howard. Looks like he's going to miss this week. That's what Nick Sirianni says most likely to happen. Davion Taylor most likely going to go on IR with a knee injury as well. Sean Bradley, linebacker from Temple, who stepped up special teams-wise for this team. is likely to play this weekend. So those are some injury news that Nick Sirianni updated everybody on yesterday. But one of the most important things that he got into that I really enjoyed was how he was talking about Jason Kelce. And there was a big run by Miles Sanders. I want to say it was 25 yards that Kelce got out there and was just mowing people down. And we only touched on it yesterday, but he really got out there, and that's where he plays his best football. And that's what makes Jason Kelce so special. One, his leadership, hands down. The other thing that makes him so special is how he gets off the line of scrimmage. And if you remember, way back when Howard Mudd was the offensive line coach of the Eagles and Jason Kelce got drafted, he was looking for, smaller, nimble offensive linemen. Then the next thing you know, Chip Kelly comes in here, and Chip Kelly's looking for the same thing. So that's what Jason Kelce had been flourishing with, that style of play, being able to get off the line of scrimmage as a center, get downfield, and make blocks. He's still doing it now, which is 10 years in the league, still doing it and still doing it at a really high rate. Here is Nick Sirianni talking about the paths that Jason Kelce can create when he gets off the line of scrimmage.
Like, that's a block. The block he makes, I feel like I haven't seen that block. I'm giving him very high praise. He's a great player. That's like a movie-style block, right? Where you don't see, like, a guy accelerate through one block and then go continue on to a next block, throw another block. I think I saw that on the only other time I see that. He made one of those same blocks against Atlanta, and I said the same thing. I've seen it against Jason Kelce do it against Atlanta. I saw Jason Kelce do it against the Saints yesterday, and I saw Billy Bob on Varsity Blues do it again in West Texas on that. Those are 3 times I've seen that play happen.
I love a Varsity Blues reference from your head coach of your football team. It's always welcome. It's always welcome. And to come to think of it, yeah, he's pretty right. He's pretty accurate in that. I wouldn't go as far as to say that Jason Kelce is Billy Bob, but I guess you could go there. And going back and watch it, Dan Orlovsky actually broke down the film from it on his Twitter, if you want to check that out later today. He's exactly right. It is like something you would see out of an over-dramatic High School Harry type of football movie. And whether it's Varsity Blues, whether it's Remember the Titans, which he later goes on to say is his favorite football movie, Remember the Titans, one of the greatest soundtracks in the history of sports movies. So when he talks about that, he's dead on. If you go back and you watch any of those, there's 2 big downfield blocks that Jason Kelce, well, 3 if you include the 2 he made on the one play. But if you go back and you watch the blocks that he did make, it is like something out of a movie where it's like if a director didn't know anything about football except, I want the most dramatic football play you can make, and I want blocks downfield. That's exactly what they would script, what Jason Kelce was doing against the New Orleans Saints this past Sunday. Also, probably what Jordan Mailata was doing on the left side of the line of scrimmage, what Lane Johnson was doing on the right side of the line of scrimmage yesterday, or Sunday, rather. That's exactly what a director that was just looking for dramatic blocks in a football game would do. That's what he would write into the script. That's what he would direct the players on the field to do. And so he's got a great point, and it was rather dramatic and effective, most importantly, with what you were seeing from Jason Kelce. The other person that he highlighted yesterday was Darius Slay. And it was a kind of moment where I'm listening to Nick Sirianni talk about Darius Slay, and I'm going, is he serious? No. But I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, we've seen some interesting play calls here and there. I mean, Jordan Howard most recently lines up in the backfield in the Wildcat formation, ended up causing an offsides penalty, or false start penalty on 2 tight ends on one play. That was weird, but it happened. We've seen some Philly-esque plays in the goal line situations under Nick Sirianni. I wouldn't put it past him at some point to either line up Andre Dillard in the backfield and try to run something in a goal line. I wouldn't put it past him to have Darius Slay line up offensively. But here's the question. Nick Sirianni was asked about Darius Slay and what he knew about him before he was his head coach and what he's learned about him now. Sirianni said he only faced him once. It was a game where he picked off Phillip Rivers, so you kind of knew what was what. But as far as getting to know the person and the personality of the player, here's what Nick Sirianni had to say about his cornerback, Darius Slay.
He's just got a contagious personality, contagious leadership, just loves being around football every day, ready to come to work every single day. And now, what I'm seeing, right, with the 11 games I've been with him is like, man, he's really good with the football in his hand. He gets that football in his hands, he can go. And so, that makes me think maybe I got to get him a couple reps on offense and give him some touches. But, I just see a player that embodies this get better every single day, come to work every single day.
Is he kidding? Is he actually gonna? No, but maybe. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I wonder what Jonathan Gannon would think about him using his cornerback, his 3-touchdown cornerback on offense. But hey, maybe you start him out in the return game. Maybe see how that goes, and then maybe you just see. All right, we'll start it out right there, and we'll see what Darius Slay does. I wouldn't put it past Nick Sirianni. I would personally love to see it. I think it would be hilarious, and it might be effective. By the way, it is a happy Hughes Day morning, by the way. I forgot to mention that at the top of the show. But Hugh Douglas III will be joining us momentarily. And I folks, I've admitted this before. This is no secret. I'm not breaking news here. I'm a big fat idiot. And sometimes Hugh and I, before I hit record, we'll start talking. And oftentimes, for all the young future show hosts out there, there's an old phrase, you don't do the show in the green room. In other words, you don't do the show before the show. You might have somebody like a producer or whoever, you go out there and interview a guest, if it's like a late night talk show, right? And see what the latest funny story they have is, so you can tee it up for them on the show. But every once in a while, Hugh and I will catch up and we'll start talking about things that I want to talk about on the show. And I'll be like, wait, hold on, the timeout. This is good stuff. I want to make sure we get it in. And we got in most of the stuff. There's one thing that was left out, and it was about Darius Slay. And you saw how Darius Slay's wife was out there on Twitter supporting her husband and all that stuff. And Hugh said, a lot of times when a woman or a wife of a player or a girlfriend of a player starts talking on social media, Hugh kind of cringes like, oh, it kind of looks like you're fighting that battle for your man, whatever. That's never a good look for a guy, whatever it might be. And he goes, you know what? That lady just had a baby. She's now talking about getting her husband a Pro Bowl. She's now talking, she just had a kid and she wants to just get a trip to Honolulu, man. You can't blame her for that. And I go, that's a great point. That's a great way to establish it as an isolated thing where if one thing usually bothers you, no, it's a case-by-case basis because she just had a baby and she's just thinking about taking a trip to Hawaii. Which, by the way, I totally forgot. Is that where they're moving? Did they go back there? That's where they're at again? I know they're doing this crusade of trying to make the Pro Bowl relevant. It's like, no, nobody cares. The only people that care about actually going to the Pro Bowl, this is a little fun little fact for you, sponsors. Those are the people that care. Fans, not so much. It's for the sponsors. It's to name somebody to the Pro Bowl. It's great to be named to the Pro Bowl. That's funny. That's fantastic. But as far as actually going, I think most people are good. Most people that have done it already are kind of like, I think I'm good. So Hugh brings up a fine point when it comes to the Pro Bowl and Darius Slay's wife, the lovely Mrs. Let me tell you about my good friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Ladies and gentlemen, do what I do. Go to Steven Singer Jewelers. IHateStevenSinger.com. Always fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. Steven has Anita diamond studs for just under $270. If that price sounds familiar, it's because it's the same price as a year ago. He hasn't jacked up prices to try to gouge you. No. Steven wants to give you that perfect price every single time. And here's what's amazing. A lot of people worried about demand, supply and demand over the holidays. Steven's already fully stocked. Fully stocked to take care of you when it comes to these beautiful, flawless to the eye, near colorless diamond stud earrings from Steven Singer Jewelers. Every single day at the perfect price. No sales, no discounts, no BS. Steven's real diamond studs are flawless to the eye, near colorless, and come with his famous full lifetime trade-in guarantee, which means you can trade up your diamond studs anytime and receive exactly what you paid towards a new pair. All that with the unbeatable 100-day, 100% money-back guarantee, making it no-risk shopping for the holiday. Can't get much better than that, folks. Go now to IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Always fast and free shipping at I Hate Steven Singer Jewelers. That's Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price. IHateStevenSinger.com. Without further ado, let's jump on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line and talk to our good friend Hugh Douglas III on this very nice Tuesday morning. Joining us right now on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line on this happy Tuesday morning, Hugh Douglas III. What's up, Hugh?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and you know what? I miss the days where you and I would sit in the press box at Lincoln Financial Field, and you would teach little Marc. You teach little fella Marc, right, with a full head of beautiful, luscious, dark brown hair.
I was gonna say, hey, Marc, I was gonna say it, but I wasn't gonna say it. I was thinking it, but I wasn't. But yeah, that Marc had hair,
and he was like 30 pounds lighter, or 40.
Hey.
And you'd be like, all right, look here, watch this stunt, watch what they do here, all that stuff, and you really break it down for me from your perspective and watching the line. I started watching the line of scrimmage as opposed to the ball because of conversations I've had with you. And then, obviously, the Falcons played the Patriots and lost, good God, on Thursday night. So that left you wide open to sit down and watch play for play this Philadelphia Eagles team take on the New Orleans Saints, arch rival and nemesis of the Atlanta Falcons. I have to ask you, what was it like to sit there amongst, I believe, a Saints fan, you were telling me, and watch the Eagles?
My man Arthur Trish. Shout out to Arthur Trish. We went to watch the game. Big Saints fan, big supporter of the Saints. So, I wore not this hoodie, but I had an Eagles hoodie on, because I had to represent. And it was fun to watch, man. Like everything that I heard that Philadelphia wasn't like from the games that I didn't get a chance to watch, they were there. I saw guys tweet about how they were running the ball. They ran the ball successfully, and things like that. But I know I saw those two Miles Sanders, he gave it up twice. He gave it up twice. But
yeah, one officially, yeah.
Situation where you give up two, you fumble twice and still win a football game the way that you won it, and your quarterback's playing the way that he's playing. I mean, I honestly feel like Jalen Hurts is starting to come into his own, man. And listen, you look at the schedule, outside of the Dallas Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken, you got Jacksonville coming up. You got the Washington football team.
Jets.
It's Jets. I knew it was one of them sorry clubs. The Jets. Not Jacksonville.
Yeah.
It was the Jets. Jaguars. That's not the Jaguars.
Correct.
It's the Jets. Well, you got the Jets coming up. You got the football team twice. And you got the Giants again. Come on, man. That might be a playoff scenario. That's a playoff scenario.
Hey, that's right, man. You're talking about a possible 11-win season for Philadelphia Eagles.
Maybe.
It's still on the table, which is all that matters. All right, so we'll talk plenty about Jalen Hurts, but you're watching the game with a Saints fan and out-of-towner, obviously. When this lady was shown, I'm just curious if your friend happened to catch this lady.
Listen, Marc, this is the beautiful thing about it. I didn't actually see her on the television screen, but Twitter, that God bless Twitter, because everything on Twitter that you miss,
right,
you can always see when you go to your Twitter feed. And when I saw her, I just had to laugh because, and somebody, I think it was, I forgot who it was. Somebody tweeted out that she must be a CEO of a big company. Like that. That's Philadelphia in a nutshell.
Yeah, for the people listening on the podcast today, that was the mayor. I think they're calling her the mayor of Delco. They're calling her the mayor. I called her the first lady of Philly fans, but whatever.
Okay,
but yeah,
both of them fit.
They absolutely do. So, overall opinion of Jalen Hurts, and then I want to ask something a little bit more specific. But overall, of Jalen Hurts, you just said he's coming around right now. He's coming into his own. What are you making of Jalen Hurts?
I think that for where the NFL is going as far as quarterbacks are concerned, he's right there in that mode. The athletic quarterback, the kind of guy that puts stress and pressure on defenses. Because the New Orleans Saints have a pretty good defense. If I'm not mistaken, they were a top 10 defense going into this game.
Oh, they were number one rushing defense in the NFL.
Yeah, they're a top 10 defense. So they're a good defense. And they didn't look that great yesterday. And I mean, when you talk about him being able to make plays with his legs and everything, I mean, that's the NFL now. The quarterback position, you have to be a little bit more. You got to be able to throw the ball down the field. But if you can run, which is a big topic of conversation here in Philadelphia, here in Atlanta right now, because I got my Philadelphia gear. We're here in Atlanta right now, is the mobility of the quarterback or the lack of mobility of the quarterback and how they want somebody back there that can make plays with his legs and things of that nature. So it's a big deal when you have a quarterback that's able to do all of that and put stresses on defenses.
One of the things that I really like about Jalen Hurts is I would watch Carson Wentz and I would say, get down, slide, throw the ball away, get out of bounds. And I feel like with Jalen Hurts, I'm hardly ever saying that. Like, he's not just a runner, but he's a smart runner that slides when he has to, gets out of bounds, throws it away. Like, that to me is what separates him from just some guy that's just trying to show his sheer athleticism. Yeah,
and you know what's funny? Like, I've said that about Russell Wilson, is the fact that he's a guy, like, look at him. He's not that big, but you never see him take a big hit. Like, he pulls the ball down and he runs and he gets those tough yards, but he never takes a big hit. And you have to have that. And that's why when you hear him saying he wants to play for 10 more years or something like that crazy,
right?
As long as he can still move around and be mobile, who knows? Now, I wouldn't say 10, maybe 6 more years, but hell, that's pretty good. That's pretty good at that position.
So I'm going to ask you a question that I got asked yesterday morning. I was doing a hit with the Fox 29 guys, Mike Jarek, Alex Holly here in Philly. And,
Mike.
Yeah. Of course. How could you forget Mike Jarek?
Cannot forget Mike Jarek.
So he asked me and Gary Cobb, we were both doing the show this morning, and yesterday morning, and he goes, is it a good thing? Like, you watch Jalen Hurts, you're wowed by him. 3 rushing touchdowns. That's incredible. But is it for a quarterback? Like, what should you be taking away from this? Gary said, no, he's eventually going to get hurt. My argument was more along the lines of at least he's a smart runner, and I could take him doing this now as a very young quarterback making his 15th ever start in the NFL. Then I want him to mature. What's your take on a running back running as well as Jalen Hurts, who, by the way, just for reference, is second to only Lamar Jackson in rushing quarterback numbers right now in rushing yards, and I believe 9th overall or 10th overall in the NFL?
I would say I'm probably in lockstep with you and a little bit of Gary, because you don't want your quarterback to get hurt. You don't want to take those penitentiary chances like that. But you want to win football games. And it's incumbent upon a coach to groom that young quarterback and put him in positions and allow his game to evolve. Now, initially, that should always be a part of his game. Kind of like when you see Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers has to, Aaron Rodgers will pull it down and he will run it for a first down, or he will extend plays with his legs. But Aaron Rodgers' primary objective is to kill you with his arm. That's how it should be. You know, like in the back of a defender's mind, say if I was playing him, I'm going to always be concerned about him getting outside the pocket and running for a first down. So that's going to make me a little hesitant whenever I try to pass rush him or anything like that, because I know that he has the ability to do that. But if he's sitting back there carving me up, that's just that's another weapon in his arsenal. You know what I mean? Because he can do both. So now I have to defend against both. I have to defend against his arm because he can gut me with the throw, and then I got to defend against his leg. So it puts the defense in a stressful position. It really, really does.
So after the game, Nick Sirianni came out and he said that there was a lull there offensively. They scored a touchdown with about 4 minutes left in the first quarter offensively. Then Darius Slay had a return, but still obviously not a touchdown by the offense. And then Jalen Hurts had that 24-yard scramble where he juked Granderson out of his pad.
He hit it with the dead leg, like.
Yes, exactly. And Nick Sirianni comes out after the game and says, "You know what? I was a little too. I took the foot off the gas. I got a little too passive in the offense. I stopped being aggressive. I took the foot off the gas, as they say." When you're playing a game, and at one point they were winning, I think it was 27-7. When you're playing a game as a player, and you know it, I mean, you can't help it. If I'm noticing it watching from home, you have to notice it as a player as well. How do you balance let's still realize we have this game pretty much in hand, but also let's not give it away and take our foot off the gas? What's the balancing act there that takes place?
I think the biggest thing is you don't want to embarrass anybody, but you're 4-6. You're in a hunt now. Like when you talk about the NFL, there's not a whole lot of teams that are top heavy. You got like 3 or 4 teams in the NFC. On the NFC side, they got like 8 wins. And everybody else is in that 5-6 win range.
Right.
And you're sitting right there at 4. Man, you ain't got time to be worrying about anybody else's damn feelings. You know what I mean?
See, thank you.
Listen, you're fighting for your playoff lives. You got the fans engaged now. Man, go out there and win football games. Be damn somebody else's feelings right now. I know it's the holidays and everything. You feeling festive, but this ain't the time to be feeling festive, Playboy. This ain't the time. This ain't the time for that.
Now I'm picturing Nick Sirianni bringing Sean Payton a nice cranberry. Yeah, there you go. There's a little cranberry sauce.
I respect you so much. Hey, man, damn that. Man, damn that. We got places to go and people to see.
And you're right. They were sitting there going into this game 4-6. They get the win. They finally, extinguish any fire that the Saints were starting up. They get to 5-6 right now. They have a chance to beat the Giants and be a 500 football team for the first time since the second week of the season.
Yes. And everything is in front of you. Your biggest obstacle right now, don't want to look too far ahead, because like you said, you got the Jets and the Jaguars, or whoever I said was coming up.
It's just for confirmation, it is the Jets.
Yeah, yes, the Jets. But
three-letter team who sucks starts with the J.
Basically. And plus, we've been talking about the Urban Meyer situation down here for a while, so that's why we have the Jags coming up this week. So yeah. It's like it's all, Marc is starting to run together for me, dog.
Right.
It runs together.
Right.
Yeah. To that point, man, listen, you're in a great spot. And not to look ahead, but right now, if you look at the schedule right now, the only team that has a winning record on that schedule that you have coming up is the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody else is in that kind of that limbo, that same kind of limbo you're in. And you got 2 against the Washington football team. Get one. You all you gotta do is get one. Get one of those. You take care of business with everybody else. You in business. You in the money. You in the money.
And when they face the Cowboys, that won't be till, I can't believe I'm saying this date as a regular season game. January 9th, they have the Cowboys, the last game of the season, week 18, game number 17. And the Eagles still have their bye week in hand, by the way. That bye week doesn't come in until December 12th. So they still got that in hand to take a break a little bit through this there. Yeah. How would you be feeling if you're playing until January 9th as a player there?
As long did the check clear? That's all. Check clear.
Thought you'd say that.
I mean, what's funny, man? When you think about it, only thing that really has been pushed back is the schedule, the timing of everything. But you're playing 20, like you playing 20 games regardless. Like you're playing 20, like technically you're playing 20 games. Like no matter how you slice that piece of pie, 4 preseason games and 16 regular season games. And practices with, you just have to do what you got to do for your body to be right, man, and all the other good stuff. But technically, the schedule really hasn't changed. For you just got one more meaningful game, as opposed to it being like one of those games that I was about to say the freshmen, but I meant the vets wasn't playing. That's
gotcha.
That's it.
A couple of quick ones for you here. Jordan Mailata looked like he was stepping up for Jalen Hurts there. There was a little play with that Davenport fella, a couple of different plays. One, there was actually a scrum on the ground. When a team has somebody stepping up for the quarterback the way Jordan Mailata was, what does that mean to a locker room?
You mean when you have offensive linemen beating up defensive linemen? Because that's basically what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny because my friend I was sitting there talking to, we saw when Cam Jordan somebody crack blocked Cam Jordan or something. And I was like, hey, man, I said, them cats in Philly nasty. I said, hey, man, them offensive linemen pretty nasty. Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, I played with a couple cats like that, 2 cats that went into the Hall of Fame. So, I was like, hey, bro, it's a good thing when you got your offensive linemen that play like that. That's a good thing, for real.
Yeah, you always said that, Trey always played, up to snuff, totally level. And John Running was a gentleman.
Hey, we're old now. It's cool. He played dirty. It's cool. He know he played dirty. It's
cool. There was one more. Oh, I have to ask you this question here. You got to see Jonathan Gannon's defense for the first time since week 1. And week 1, they looked pretty good against the Falcons, and then we discovered the Falcons aren't that good a football team. Not for nothing. What did you make of the defense overall?
They looked frenzied. They looked exciting. They looked hungry. I liked how, man, they looked like a cohesive unit. And then when I think it was the first pick that they got, when they ran to the side and they all did the little dance or whatever that they do. I really like that about this. They got a little bit of attitude about them, man. It's like they're having fun, and that's the most important thing. Around this time of the year, because everybody's banged up, you want to have fun. You want to have fun, and you want to be out there enjoying what you do.
I have to ask you this, and this is a very controversial subject, and I know a lot of people bat this around when just having friendly conversation. Other than turkey, the best thing on a Thanksgiving table?
Macaroni and cheese. Gotta be. Macaroni and cheese. See, I don't know. Are you a sweet potato pie guy or a pumpkin pie guy?
I'm really neither. I look for a cheesecake. I look for
a cheesecake fan too.
Yeah, I was never a big pumpkin pie guy.
If the mac and cheese ain't right, that's a deal breaker.
I've never had mac and cheese. I've never had mac and cheese Thanksgiving.
Listen, Mark, mac and cheese is a staple in the black community. Listen, seriously, all jokes aside, there has been controversial conversations had over who made the mac and cheese. And there have been family feuds. And families have been divided on how well the mac and cheese was. No lies being told. None. Like the first question, hey man, who making the mac and cheese? Is Sarah making or Auntie Clarice? Auntie Clarice mac and cheese be on point. If you got somebody that's a rookie in the mac and cheese game,
yeah,
and she come into the house, she better be on point. And none of that Velveeta junk either. We talking about that government cheese, not government cheese. We talking government cheese has to be. And it has to be cut in them squares. Has to be that big blocky stiff macaroni and cheese. And it better be hidden. And it better be all crusty on the sides too.
No, now there.
Yeah. And if you really want to be fancy with it, 5 cheese blend.
What?
At least 5.
You're out of your damn mind.
I might be making that 5 up, but at least 2. Listen, I put up like 3 fingers. But at least it has to be a blended cheese. It has to be.
Oh, okay.
That's the best. It's the best.
See, my wife always makes fun of me because I don't mind mixing food. Like I loved mashed potatoes and corn. I don't touch cranberry. I hate anything cranberry. I'm actually I think I'm allergic to it because I eat it and I throw up. But anyway, that's a story for another day.
That sounds like that might be allergic.
We're not doctors, but just assuming.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
That's like the only reaction I have to any food. But I always like the mac. I love mac and cheese. I've never had it for Thanksgiving. It was always with my mom being Polish and my dad being Italian. Thanksgiving was always a Polish holiday. So I would say this: my grandmother would make this cabbage, this like roasted cabbage with bacon in it and stuff, vinegar.
Old
school cabbage. This stuff was I would fight family members. Like when we stopped having it all together, when the family just got too big. That was the thing we all missed the most. And like my mom and a couple of my aunts tried to make the same cabbage.
It's not the same.
And it's not even close. Not even close.
Yeah, man. It's the macaroni cheese. I don't really eat it as much as I used to, but when certain family members make it, you got to try it. You have to because you know they mac and cheese is fire. It ain't fire. It's fire. So yeah,
I can. Yeah,
gotta have it.
That's amazing. Hugh Douglas III. Always a joy, always a pleasure speaking to you, my friend. If I don't talk to you, happy Thanksgiving, brother. Thanks for all the appearances.
Everybody that listens to the Farzy Show or watches the Farzy Show, happy Thanksgiving. And hey, listen, y'all out there cooking that mac and cheese, 4 cheese blend. At least 4 cheeses. Gotta be 4 cheese.
Hugh Douglas III on this happy Hugh's Day morning. Thank you, Hugh.
Peace.
My thanks to my brother Hugh Douglas III joining us there on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. I told Hugh this after we wrapped the interview. I have had the really good soul food mac and cheese in my life. I just never had it on Thanksgiving. And I was telling him I was doing this thing some years ago. It was a Christmas thing where I'm Catholic, and growing up, there's a thing called the youth group, and that was like a little group of like little helpers that wanted to go out in the community and help, and I was with them, whatever. And one of the things we did, which was always awesome, was we go down to the inner city, and I grew up in the suburbs. We go down to the inner city, and I think it was St. Martin Tours in Philly. I forget what neighborhood, but like we were bringing gifts for the kids of that parish, and as a thank you, they had this big, like, huge feast, this banquet, if you will. And I remember going down there, and there was like, oh my God, the best mac and cheese I've ever had in my life. They had spaghetti that was on point. I'm telling you right now, their spaghetti, it was on point. Their sauce, gravy, whatever, was on point as well. And they had the best chicken wings I've ever had in my life. Just everything that they had was just phenomenal. And when he mentioned the mac and cheese, that's exactly where my mind went, to that 4-cheese blend on point and browned on the top and crispy on the exterior, right? Oh my God, that was I long for that mac and cheese. And like my daughter, she loves the mac and cheese, like the quick, easy, like 3.5 minutes in the microwave mac and cheese, which I just look at it like, don't waste my time. But she loves that. And I'm thinking, when this kid has real mac and cheese, like a barbecue joint mac and cheese or something like that soul food mac and cheese, oh man, she's mind blown. But I will say, I think that's one of the things we always look back on Thanksgiving, time together with the family, like that one dish that one family member made, and you just look back at it like, man, nobody can really recreate it. I will give credit, and I haven't had it yet. But when I was out in Pittsburgh for that wedding, that was for my cousin Doug. And Doug is like, I liken Doug to like a like to an Anthony Bourdain type. Like, this guy is a restaurateur, is a great mind for the food industry, right? And he has made the cabbage, my grandmother's famous cabbage, and my cousins that have had it told me it's right there. It's right there. It's right there with mum-ums, as we would say. So I look forward to experiencing that one day. Thanksgiving, I'll be down in, like I've told you guys before, I'll be down with my wife's family in Baltimore, having ourselves a good time. I'll have zero responsibility. I mean, there's going to be so many people in that house. Like, there's going to be no room for me to get in the kitchen, which is fine with me, because I mean, 7 fish, Christmas Eve, I am in the kitchen for 12 hours, me and my dad, just having ourselves a time. But one thing I will do is I'm bringing my espresso machine, and I'm going to make some fine cappuccinos for people. There we go. A little late afternoon, early evening cappuccino, which is against standard Italian policy. However, we're in America, so who needs rules? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'll be doing. But as far as cooking anything, I'm good. There we go. And unfortunately, there won't be mac and cheese. There will not be mac and cheese. And I had so many people that listened to me on the radio when I was at the Fanatic. They know this story. 2 years ago, I want to say it was. Yeah, 2 years ago was my first Thanksgiving at home in 8 or 9 years, because I had been traveling to that point with Sunday Night Football for their Thursday night broadcast with the NBC crew. So for Thanksgiving dinner, I had so many White Castle dinners. I had so many catered dinners. I had so many McDonald's dinners, or like some deli in the wherever city we were in that particular day. So I wasn't missing out on a Thanksgiving dinner. And sure enough, the first Thanksgiving I can actually make, like actually be there for, like my brother-in-law was doing pizzas. They were making pizza. And I was like, this is literally the only time in my life, the only day that I will complain about having pizza and put my foot not just down, but through the floor, that I will be not having pizza. In protest, I will not be having pizza. So I bought a turkey breast. I bought mashed potatoes. I bought corn. I bought gravy. And I had myself my own little Thanksgiving dinner. Everyone else ate pizza. I opened up a Tupperware container, and I had my turkey, mashed potatoes, and corn. Because that's how I roll. So there you go. But yeah, mac and cheese is really good. Hope you guys enjoy the mac and cheese if you're having it at Thanksgiving. Once again, that was the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. Let me tell you about Rothman Orthopaedics, ladies and gentlemen. When you have an orthopedic issue, you need a physician who eats, sleeps, and breathes orthopedics. You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopaedics physician. They not only specialize in orthopedics, but each of their physicians only focuses in on one area of the body, which means you can have the confidence to get past the pain and be what you were. Visit them, one of their 30-plus locations in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, including 4 orthopedic-only urgent cares. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Best bets, ladies and gentlemen. The computer model, their best bets computer model at BetQL is something you have to take part in. I was like, Joe Judge knows Tom Brady. Do I not bet the Bucs to cover? Will the Giants keep it close? They're playing good football going into their bye. They're coming off the bye. I looked at BetQL, and they're like, hey, idiot, bet this game. I was like, thank you, BetQL. So I did. Not only did I bet the Bucs covering the 11.5, but I also bet Mike Evans to score a touchdown and the Bucs to win. So I cashed out on that bet. I cashed out on them covering, and that was good for me. I also just said, let me look at some stuff about Tyrese Maxey. And I looked at some Tyrese Maxey, and it's over. And I went, let me see if I get a little action here. Am I being too much of a homer with this Maxey thing? No, I was not. So I hit on all 3 of my bets last night. One I impulse bet without consulting BetQL. I bet the under in the first quarter of Sixers, the Sixers Kings last night. That did not hit. They hit the over in that first quarter. Damn impulse. Why do I ever go with my impulses or my gut? My gut's stupid. My gut doesn't have a brain. My gut's dumb. My gut's the one telling me, keep eating, you fat bastard. And that's what. Why do I listen to that guy? But anyway, I should have consulted BetQL. And if you did, you're winning out. I did not. There you go. But I did through my first 3 bets of the night, so I cashed out there, and it's all because of their best bets computer models at BetQL. They scan over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports, and they give you the reasoning behind why you should place that bet. Their model covers everything from point spreads, over-unders, player prop bets as well. And if you don't want to use their model, prefer to do your own research, BetQL has all the necessary tools for your betting research needs. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download the BetQL app. How about our friends at Steak and Maine? My man, Tony Cavada, ladies and gentlemen, at Steak and Maine in the heart of Northeast Maryland. Love Steak and Maine. 2-pound tomahawk steak. Freshly prepared sushi, fresh seafood, best cuts of meat. One track mind, folks. Best cuts of meat you can experience at Steak and Maine. Voted #1 place for steaks in America by the Travel Channel and the Cooking Channel as well. Check it out for yourself. Go to steakandmaine.com. You got a big party. They got this spinning table in the back that is just a great party table. They got the upscale steakhouse, casual bar and patio. Crab dip. Don't forget the crab dip. It's just fantastic. Nice Pinot Noir as well from Cavada Cellars Wines. From his family to your family, you'll enjoy. And I love myself a good glass of wine. This is a fantastic glass of wine from Cavada Cellars Wines. Check them out, steakandmaine.com for more information. How about the great people of Windview? Thanksgiving is Thursday, people. Thanksgiving is Thursday. You want to break up the monotony of those family dinners and get-togethers over the holidays? Watching a game? Watching a little NBA action, watching a little NFL action. Have some skin in the game. Challenge a family member or a friend that you're hanging out with to a Windview challenge. It's not a sports book. It's not daily fantasy. It's a social gaming app where fans can simply take on other fans and win real money prizes for making predictions on the games that you love. It's a perfect way to add a little extra layer of competition to your fantasy football league. That's how you break the monotony. It's a great time. Download the Windview app right now and make sure you take part in a prop of the day and have yourself a good time with the Windview app. Also, how about a shout out to our friends at PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience. Let's jump on now. Our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Maine and steakandmaine.com. I'm going to start from the bottom here. What? All right. I immediately regret that decision, but David, I appreciate the compliment. All right. That was a bad decision. I'm going to start at the top. Just for context purposes here. Well, I just see this. This is pinned here. David saying, replace Pro Bowl with Squid Games. Folks, I haven't watched Squid Game yet. People are raving about it. It's on the list. I've been so busy with getting ready for the kid number 2. He's going to be here in, what the hell day is it? 2 months. I got the demo I'm doing on the house still, which I just discovered a whole bunch of work. So the house that I live in is like 100 years old. And I've mentioned that before. And I can't use like one of them mini jackhammers to take the plaster off the wall for the exposed brick. So I have to use a hammer and chisel. I'm basically Michelangelo. That's right. Not even Michael. Michelangelo. That's 4 hours right there. And it's like a foot by 1 foot it's like 1 square foot of plaster off a wall. That's what I got for 45 hours still in front of me. So yeah, maybe I'm it's the thing that you do with the buyer's remorse thing. I'm having, why didn't I just pay somebody to do this? Although it's good, honest work. It's good work. It's good, honest work. But I just found out that the chimney's basically crumbling and it goes up through the room that I'm exposing. So it's either I just drywall it and say, maybe it won't collapse, or I actually fix it. And that's probably what I'm going to have to end up doing. That wasn't fog. Marc must have been smoking in the arena. The foghorn, the goal horn there with the Flyers. Very nice, Mally. Ben Timmons, what's going on? Definitely seems like more than 10 peeps in here. Oh, yeah, there's a conspiracy theory, folks. This is, I think Dan and Mally and April have been on to this from the start. Henry, you too. Sometimes there's like more, there's a lot of people in the chat, and there's like, oh, you have 4 views. Whatever, digital media. Let's see. Very sketchy, says Henry. That is sketchy. Dan, keeping it real. Farzy, greater than. That's very nice of you, David. Whatever's following that. If it's alone, I'm greater than something, that's fine. Thank you. John Cheeseborough. I might check out the Manning cast due to Washington, Seattle, or skip the game completely. Why not? Have yourself a time. Alex, what's happening? Jason Kelsey is a mean, mean man. Yes, he is. If I could, would you? Wait, hold on, am I reading that right? If I could, would you? All right, that's a nice handle. Let's just say his name rhymes with Ben or Sen Bimmons. Very nice. Alex, the game should not be broadcast. You're right. Alex, hello again. Kelsey and my lotto were running through people. John Cheeseborough, you're correct. Lester, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Nice to have you. Ben Timmons, Lester, welcome. Brad, fire, angry face emojis. Thank you, Brad. When Kelsey was drafted, I felt Howard Mudd wanted his new Jeff Saturday. Yes. So back before Jason Kelsey was Jason Kelsey, in the early days of Jason Kelsey, I don't know what it was about him. I just really enjoyed talking to him and going to the locker room and asking him questions. He's always been the same guy. And I started to get to know him a little bit. And I guess at one point he just felt comfortable with, like, he wasn't making fun of Howard Mudd, but he was just saying this guy is the funniest, most interesting man in the world. And that's how he labeled Howard Mudd. And he goes, he's really funny, but I don't know if he intends to be funny, but he's hilarious. And he was telling me that how much like the team really loved Howard Mudd. And I remember it might have been last year when people were asking Jason Kelsey about people he looks to that were really influential on his career. He pointed out Howard Mudd almost immediately. So that was pretty amazing. Was it Moxon? Was that the Vanderbeek? Was that his last name? That was his last name in Varsity Blues. If I could, I would. He's looking up as if he's answering the questions from JC himself. Hurts, greater than Moxon. Very nice, David. Dan, Kelsey is so good, he could probably block the water boy after making fun of his mom. Nick Sirianni. Dan, I would have put it past Nick. Would have put it past Nick Sirianni to line up Darius Slay or Slay on offense. Would have put it past him to give a water boy quote. I was supposed to be John Cheeseborough. Am I supposed to be doing any isms this morning? Henry, hello again. John, Kelsey is so good that if you see him coming towards you, it's already too late. Now we're morphing into Chuck Norris isms. Underneath Chuck Norris's beard, it's not a chin, it's another fist. Kelsey greater than Chuck Norris. Oh, look at that. And there we are. Chuck Norris. Kelsey greater than Norris. Julian, what's up, buddy? Oversized performance Slay. Mopar. Good morning, Mopar. I find it absolutely ridiculous that my job is bothering me this early during work hours. Wait, are these your work hours? Kelsey's so good, so fresh. His drip only second to Farzy. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you. Alyssa, what's up, Alyssa? Large maneuver Slay. These are some great nicknames, folks. Plus, my brain isn't ready yet. John, how you doing? Ben, Mally, JC, mornings are hard. That's why I wake and bake. Makes it feel much better. Whatever helps you. Wake and Bake with Farzy. Ooh, that sounds like a new segment. Julian, how are you? Math seems wrong. I'm telling you, they're out to get me. They're out to get me, bro. Luigi. Mallory, do you think you should get us a weather girl? Yes. Let's see. Is the Pro Bowl in Nevada? Is it in Vegas? I got to look that up. All right, wait a minute. I did see one thing earlier. Yeah, Luigi asking JC John Cheesebro. Smash, marry, kill. Barnett, Rager, Sealski. Smash Rager, because that's one and done. See you later. I don't got to worry about him anymore. Marry Sealski because he's amazing. He's a great guy. You stop it with your nonsense, you people. And Barnett, the other one. Anyway. By the way, if somebody can help me out with this, it was after the fumble recovery by TJ Edwards, I think it was by him, where he was trying to give the ball to Derek Barnett. And I was like, what the hell did Barnett have to do with anything? I was like, did he force the fumble? No, that was Fletcher Cox. You know what play I'm talking about in the game against the Saints? And I'm like, why is Barnett so excited? What did he just do? Anyway, they could all be guests. That's funny. Outrage with Mopar. It is an outrage what companies expect from us employees. Show up on time, work, communicate, come in every day, and not call in sick or take vacation. You know, folks, when I see people out and about and they're like, oh, hey, how's the show, whatever, and they're like, oh, that's awesome, you don't have a boss. I'm like, whatever, that doesn't really, bosses were never that huge a deal. What really sucks is the office politics. And I don't mean like people jockeying for position for praise or anything like that. I just mean like, you know, I consider myself to be a decent human being, so I do care about other people's feelings. But there's sometimes where somebody else is just having a really bad day and they want to push that off on you. And I'm like, get the hell out of here with that. Like, I don't want to. And they're like, I'm just having a rough day, this, that, and the other. Can you just do this ad read for me just real quick? And I'm like, I'm out the door. I'm about to hang out with my family, you know, that kind of thing. And, you know, you feel like you have to do it because somebody else's livelihood depends on it. So you do it. Thing is exactly what you're talking about there, Mopar, which is like vacation shaming. I think vacay shaming is the worst thing. Like, it's one of the worst things that nobody talks about. Like, you talk about all the shame, fat shaming, clothes shaming, whatever it might be, shaming. One of the things that needs to go away is any sense of vacay shaming. All right, vacation. There's no room for vacay shame. Is that your vacation time? Take all of it. I hate that people are like, oh, this guy won't try working for a living. Like, shut your damn mouth. Like, even jokes, even little things like, oh, yeah, well, if you showed up for work, like, shut your mouth. Like, here's what I'm going to do, people. I give you the right. After Thanksgiving, after the holiday, after that, I give you the right. When somebody goes like, oh, you just got back from vacation? Well, while we were working, I give you permission to put your pen down, get up from the conference table, walk over to that person, get right in their face, and say, you shut your stupid mouth. There you go. And then when they cry, go, that's cool. Farzy told me it was fine. I can do that. And if you can video it, send it to me, and I'll play it on the show. But no, in all seriousness, I hate the people that vacay shame. And I didn't really take vacation. I had I think 4 or 5 weeks, 5 weeks of vacation at the Fanatic. I think I took a week. And there was no maternity. There's no paternity leave, so I had to take 2 weeks, just take 2 weeks. NBC, they were awesome. That company was cool in terms of the paternity leave, but whatever. You can even take like a month. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. Cowboys ain't doing it. You're damn right, Luigi. Let me just say this. Cowboys got a rough go of it. Short turnaround. What they have, the 4:25 kickoff against the Chiefs. One thing that I keep remembering, if you remember this Mark Sanchez Thanksgiving Day game, second year of Chip Kelly, the Eagles played the Cowboys on Thanksgiving and whooped them. That was the game following The Odell Beckham Jr. catch over the head on Sunday night where the Cowboys played the Giants. Cowboys played the Giants that Sunday night, caught a plane home, took their plane home. Then I think we're off Monday, back Tuesday, Wednesday, played Thursday, and the Eagles kicked their ass. I wouldn't be shocked if the Cowboys lose this week, Thursday. We'll get more into that tomorrow. Cowboys ain't doing it. Luigi, I think you're right. April Hugh, as always. Hate is a strong word, so I'll just say I mildly dislike Steven Singer. Hugh. Marc shared D's nuts at Super Bowl with me. Dan, what's up, buddy? Did I give you D's nuts? D's nuts were good. They were tasty. Very interesting name. Great marketing campaign, but they were tasty. Sharing is caring. Scoop, there it is. Sprinkles. Mopar, you're right. Sean, what's going on? Humble Philly. The Cowboys still, unfortunately, look good. Yeah, they do. Kelsey is so good. Sharks have a week about him. Wow. David, on point. Giants look like a dumpster fire last night. You're absolutely right. One bet I do regret not making last night was I think it was 2.5 interceptions in the game in total, and there were 3, including one by Brady. Call me crazy. Was anybody else? Luigi, call me crazy, but does Hugh remind anybody else of Pete Davidson? What? David, Bucksco better than Delco. But nobody calls it Bucksco. It's just Bucks County. Monco, different story. Tell me about it, JC. I'm 35, but I still try to stay mentally 21. Well, we all do. I mean, mentally, I'm still 15. I think that's where I've just kind of stayed. Mopar, I'm 82, acting like I'm 34. 82 lumber. All right. Our division is terrible. What the hell? Oh, yeah, our division is terrible. Yes, April, it is. John, nice to see you again. Must resist the urge to make Ragerisms. Girl alert. We have another girl in the chat? What do we have a lady? Hannah. Hannah, welcome in. Welcome aboard. Chris, how are you? Oh, Chris is who said girl alert. Like a bunch of nerds hanging out in the basement. Oh, there's a girl. How do I talk to her? Mac and cheese, a lot of mac and cheese support, a lot of mac and cheese love in the chat. Farzy, first year having mac and cheese here for Thanksgiving. It better be on point. T-Bro, I hope it is for you, man. No breadcrumbs ever. Government cheese. Is there any other type of cheese? April, you make Donovan McNabb's mac and cheese? Good for you, I guess. Farzetta, you're not Jewish? No. Although I did eat a Jewish girl for a brief moment, and she told me I could pass for a Jewish person. She said, I could bring you around my family. You could pass. Her words, not mine. I could bring you around my family. You could pass for a Jew. And I'm like, I'll take this as a compliment. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Baked in the, let's see. Food talk is killing me. Hey, it's Thanksgiving, man. So it's time for us all to be fat bastards. And that pretty much rounds it out. Thanks everyone that checked in on the cup. Bonus Farzy was planning on watching the replay. Look at that. Yeah, a little bonus Farzy today. You're welcome. And by the way, that did kind of melt my brain. Oh, by the way, that was our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Maine and steakandmaine.com. Let's move into our morning rush segment brought to you by Sky Motorcars and skymotorcars.com. I brought it up to Hugh, and I want to comment on it as well. So, not seeing Jalen Hurts run, or excuse me, seeing Jalen Hurts run as often as he is, am I concerned? And the reason I'm not concerned is a couple of reasons. One, he's young. He's still figuring out when they're only rushing 4 and dropping 7. Like, what are you going to do to counteract that as a quarterback? And the other is if these 2 plays would have stood or been executed properly, he would have 2 touchdown throws in that game, which makes it look completely different. He had a touchdown throw to Dallas Goedert, but Dallas Goedert came down on the defensive player, rolled into the end zone, ref missed it, and they ended up not giving him the touchdown. That would have been a touchdown reception, a touchdown throw for Jalen Hurts. He ended up running in on the next play, so he still found a way to get a touchdown. The other one was later in the game after the offensive pass interference call on Devontae Smith. Later hit Devontae Smith on a screenplay, and I pointed this out all throughout yesterday. If J.J. Arthur-Whiteside holds his block. That's another touchdown pass by Jalen Hurts. So for me, the running really doesn't bother me. And on top of all that, he doesn't take the big hit. The thing that was so frustrating about Carson Wentz was that he would take the big hit, fight to play, then fight. He wouldn't ever fight to live to fight another day. That was not his thing. He was, I got to win this right now because I can. Back the hell off, dude. Let's be smart about this. Jalen Hurts is smart about this. The one occasion, and I highlighted yesterday, he took a big hit. That was like one occasion he put his head down and tried to get an extra yard. Rarity for him. Everything else is slide, out of bounds, throw it away. That's what you want from a young quarterback. And that's what he's been doing. So I'm fine with it. If he was a 10-year vet and he was doing this, I'd be like, why don't you just take it easy there, bro? Take a step back. So it doesn't bother me. And I love what I'm seeing from Jalen Hurts because the man just wants to win. The man just wants to win. Yeah, David, I try to follow the comments as much as I can. But Sushi was the one saying, well, a little bonus Farzy. Well, there you go. I'll give it to you one more time. Flyers are back at it tonight, 7 o'clock puck drop against the Lightning. And the Sixers off tonight. They're back at it tomorrow night in Golden State against the Warriors. So we'll see how that one goes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. From the Steven Singer Studios, shout out to Jim Hyden, producing the program, did a phenomenal job. This is a Buzz Sports and Entertainment production. My name is Marc Farzetta. Be back with you guys tomorrow. We'll have a little Farzy in the field ready for you from the Flyers game last week, just to get predictions and expectations on what we get from the Flyers this year. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for commenting as well. Have a great day, everybody. Take it easy.